Have you ever felt deeply moved by Rumi's poetry, fascinated by the spinning of the whirling dervishes, or touched by the emotional power of Qawwali music? What you are experiencing is Sufism. Sufism is the spiritual and mystical heart of Islam. It focuses on purifying the soul, developing good character, and building a close, personal relationship with God. It is not a separate religion or sect, but a spiritual path that has existed within Islam since the time of Prophet Muhammad, who many Sufis see as the perfect example of spiritual devotion. Early Sufis tried to live the Quran and the Prophet's teachings deeply. They practiced simple living, kindness, night prayers, extra fasting, and constant remembrance of God. One of the most important Sufi practices is dhikr, which means remembering God by repeating his names or phrases of faith. Another practice is sama, which involves listening to spiritual music, poetry, or rhythmic movement. Sometimes this includes singing or dancing to help forget the ego and focus fully on God. Sufis usually follow a spiritual teacher, called a sheikh, who guides them step by step on their spiritual journey. This journey moves through different spiritual stages and can lead to fana, a state where the ego disappears and only awareness of God remains. Over time, organized Sufi groups called tariqas, orders, developed. These groups pass down spiritual teachings, practices, and blessings from teacher to student through a chain that goes back to the Prophet Muhammad. Some Sufi practices, like visiting the graves of holy people, have been criticized by other Muslims who fear it could lead to worshiping humans. Sufis respond by saying they do not worship anyone except God. They simply honor righteous people and seek inspiration from their lives. Sufism also values direct spiritual experience, called marifa, rather than knowledge from books alone. It teaches that God is both far beyond the world and very close to every heart. This tradition has produced beautiful poetry, music, and writings by famous figures such as Rumi, Ibn Arabi, Rabia al-Basri, Attar, Yunus Emre, and others. Historically, Sufism has shaped societies, guided leaders, educated communities, and encouraged moral and spiritual living. Today, it remains strong in places like Turkey, West Africa, India, Morocco, and the Middle East, and it also inspires many people in the West. If you learned something new today, subscribe and hit the bell icon. Until next time, assalamu alaikum.